Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Georgia. Today we are going to go through my May reads. So I did only read 4 books again last month, which does annoy me a little bit because I just don't feel like I'm reading as much as I was towards the beginning of the year. I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but life is busy. I had a lot going on in April and in May, and I'm hoping that June is actually going to be when it starts to slow down a little bit, so I'll have more time to just sort of relax and read. That's my hope anyway. But we'll see if that actually happens or not. I have only read 4 books, but I have really enjoyed the books that I have read. Like, all of them have had quite high ratings. It has been a successful reading month, quality wise, just not necessarily quantity wise. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my Amazon and social medias and everything will be linked in the description box below. Let's get into the books I read this month. Okay, so I only actually read 1 book off of my bookshelves, the rest were on my Kindle. I've read 1 physical book, I've read 2 arcs, and I've just read another book that I had on my Kindle for an arc that's coming out in August. It has been a really good reading month, and even though they are arcs for a few of them, they are my actual honest opinion. I don't see the point in lying about a book, because if it's not for my taste, it's not to my taste, and it will be to somebody's. They have actually all been really good this month. At the end of April, I finished A Court of Mist and Fury. So then, like, end of April, beginning of May, I read A Court of Wings and Ruin. Now, I enjoyed this book so much. It weren't quite as good as Mist and Fury, but was definitely still up there. The name of this book is actually really clever. Because, like, A Court of Wings and Ruin, but as you can see, if you take the first 3 letters, you've got war, so it's Aka War. But this focuses on the war with Highburn. If you've read Akamath, then you'll know the ending. It's really hard to sort of explain these books without ruining them. So this one, we start in the Spring Court. There's a lot of deceit and a lot of, like, gathering of information and intel. And then Feyre returns to the Night Court with one of my favourite characters. I don't know why I like him so much. There's just something about him, but she returns to the Night Court with one of my faves. And then it's like how they prep for the war and how they sort of, well, it's how they prep for the war and also the war itself. This book is an emotional rollercoaster ride, 100%. There's a lot more about her sisters, there's a lot more about the sort of, about the Night Court in general. There's quite a few new characters in this one as well, which I quite liked. We get to know some of the characters from the other courts, get to see some old friendships and some old sort of relationships and sort of try and start piecing together some of the past for all the characters, which I enjoyed. I really enjoyed this book. It did have me speechless at times. Like, the war itself was so, like, intense to read about, and also the emotional side of that for all the characters and things as well. It was still spicy, not quite as spicy as Mist and Fury. There were only probably 3 or 4 scenes, like spicy scenes in this one, but those scenes were still so well written and I thoroughly enjoyed them. I rated this book 5-star again. I did really enjoy it. Like I said, it's not quite as solid as Mist and Fury, but still very much a 5-star read for me. I really enjoyed it. It is also a big book. Like, it's nearly, I think it's literally like 699 pages or something like that. Yeah, it is literally 699 pages. So it is probably the biggest book I've read yet. It's definitely a chunky boy, so it did take me a while to get through, but was worth every second of it in my opinion. Solid 5-star read. Then straight after that I moved on to one of the arcs. The first arc I read was When Lies Unfold by R.C. Bolt. Now, this book was so good. Literally so good. So it's like a cartel romance. It's our main female character, Lola. She's a cleaner and she is cleaning this house when she witnesses a murder. Now, the murder is committed by one of the cartel men, and the leader of the cartel, Santiago, has to come and sort of sort it out. So he's meant to come in and get rid of the witnesses, but he can't bring himself to do it and doesn't know why, so he kind of just keeps her around, like, sort of keeps her really close. She ends up, like, living with him, ends up being a nanny for his daughter. So it is single dad nanny trope in a way, which is one of my favourite tropes of all time. I love it so much. There's just something about the single dad trope that just has me in a chokehold. It's very much like cartel. It's a bit of like a found family, I guess. It's touch her and die, protective male main character, but also a very strong female lead as well. So it's the contrast between their sort of stubbornness, which I really enjoy. But yeah, I just love all the tropes in this. Cartel romance is going to be one of my new regular reads because I just love it. So I need more recommendations for those. If you have any cartel romances that you think I'll enjoy, pop them in the comments, just because I am loving this trope so much and I really want to read more of it. I enjoyed this book so much. There was romance, there was drama, fighting, all the cartel war. There's like a rival, I don't know if you'd class them as gangs, I don't really know, but there's like the main cartel and then there's some other dude and there's like the fight for territory and everything like that. But I honestly just enjoyed this book so much. And the relationship between sort of like our main character Lola and Santiago's daughter Alma is just so sweet to watch. So, like, Alma hasn't spoken for 2 years and for some reason decides to speak to Lola, so that's obviously a massive part to play in Santiago's feelings for her and things and the reasons why she keeps her around for so long. The spicy scenes in this book are so good. There's a lot of spice, like a lot of spice. If you're not into spice, maybe don't read this, but I love a spicy book, so for me it was great. I would definitely check the trigger warnings before reading this book, because I know there's a few things in there that some people might find difficult to read, so I'd definitely check that first. So within the book, like, Lola has a lot of her own secrets, like she is running away from her past, so it's kind of interesting seeing how that unfolds as well. There's just so much going on, so many twists and turns, so much drama, fighting, romance. It's just such a good book, and again, I rated this 5 stars. This book just hit different. I enjoyed it so much. And I can't wait to read more from this author, because I definitely will be reading the rest of her books. Again, a solid 5-star read. Absolutely loved it. It is already out now actually as well. I want to say it was like the 21st of May. Ooh, I was so close. It was the 23rd of May. So this is out now. But yeah, I enjoyed this so much. I would definitely have a look at it. I do believe it's on Kindle Unlimited. For those of you who have it, read it. It's so good. The next book that I read was A Rush of Ravens by Abigail Breyer. Now, again, this book was incredible. So this was another ARC read. This comes out literally next week. So by the time this video goes up, it'll literally be a couple of days. I think it's the 4th of June. This is a fantasy romance series. It is adults, not like YA or anything like that. It is like an adult fantasy. But it's a non-spice series, which I quite like, because I know a lot of people that don't like spice in a book. But I don't feel myself missing it either. Like, I am one that definitely likes spice in a book, but I'm not missing it. I did enjoy it still. So this is book 1 in an 8-part series, and the series itself is called Till Kingdom Come. The first book is sort of loosely based on the Disney film Brave. So this book is based on our main character Ravenna. Now, she is the daughter to the Shield Maiden of her sort of town. It's not really town, but her people. Now, this is a witch fantasy. So this is the first sort of witch fantasy I've ever read, so it has taken a little bit of getting my head around. I honestly really enjoyed this book. There's a lot of sort of drama, there's a lot of twists and turns. Bit of advice, don't get too hooked to characters. This author is not afraid of killing them off. I made that mistake, got very attached to a particular character, and then literally like 3 chapters later, gone. This book isn't very romance heavy. It's definitely like a lot of world building. Like I said, it is book 1 of 8. So there's a lot of like character development and a lot of sort of prepping, I'd say. But there's still definitely a lot of drama, and this book is one in its own as well. I believe there's going to be like 3 possible love interests. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of drama. The whole sort of group knows something about Ravenna that she isn't aware of, that everyone's been like exposed to this blood oath. So there's just a lot of drama because everyone's talking about things that they can't physically tell her without like being killed, basically. There's so many characters in this book that I absolutely love, like Zan, what a baby, such a sweetheart. Zephaniah, he is such a dude. I honestly love him so much. Throughout this book, he's just so kind to her, and like, oh, there's just so many people in this book that I love. It's just such a lovely group of characters, and I cannot wait to get further into this story and into this like world. Book 1, like I said, comes out on the 4th of June, so I do think we'll be waiting a little bit for the next one. And the ending of this book, what? I had an idea of where the ending was going to go. Like, I was always reading, there's a few things where you sort of know it's coming, but it's like, does it not? And sometimes you get it and it's pretty obvious, but you still don't hate that. But there's other times like at the end of this book where I was like, okay, that did not go as I had planned in my head. This book just ends on such a shocking moment that I was just honestly left staring at my Kindle, just like, I don't understand. Like, no. So I am honestly so excited for book 2 and I need it immediately. I enjoyed this book so much. It is multiple POV. It is written in third person, which I don't usually like. I much prefer like a first person narrative. That in itself did take me a while to get my head around as well. There's a lot of characters to learn, there's a lot of world building, it is quite heavy, but it's still easy enough to follow, like the writing style is really nice. I enjoyed this book so much. I love our main characters, I love pretty much all the characters in this book to be honest, apart from the people you're not supposed to like the evil king. I can't bear him. I cannot wait for his end. 4.5 star for this book. I honestly enjoyed it so much and I cannot wait to read the rest of this series. The last book that I read this month was Straight to Me by Emily Catlow. Now this is an MC romance, and again the first one of these I've read. I enjoyed this book so much, like so much. There are a few tropes in this book that I know some people don't like, that I don't mind, so maybe check. Again, I don't tend to check things like this just because I do feel like it kind of spoils some of the story, and I'd rather not. I like to go into books blind as possible. So it follows our main characters Madison and Dean. So Dean is the vice president of the Rippers MC, which is the motorcycle gang. And then Madison is just your typical girl. She's just got divorced. In the divorce she's lost pretty much everything. So she's just finding her feet. She's on a night out with her friends when she bumps into one of the Rippers and Dean's just sort of there, and it kind of just spirals from there. It's like a he falls first, touch her and die, very protective male main character. With him being the vice president, that kind of makes her a bit of a target, so it's kind of how their lives sort of integrate together, with him being from such like a violent world and her just being your average woman just going about life not knowing anything like this even exists, never mind being a part of it. Again, in this book I love all the characters, they're just so nice. Like I love Travis just proper makes me giggle. Jess and Bex are just the best friends that you could ask for. Like within this story there's just so many amazing characters, and obviously with all the drama that's going on and all, there's so many highs, there's so many lows. It's just like the romance itself is so sweet, and that side of Dean is so sweet, but then obviously he's a vice president of a bike gang and they're outlaws, so like there's obviously so much violence, and just that contrast is so nice. I say it all the time, but I'm obsessed with the contrast between like the violence and the sweetness of the romance. It's why I don't read a lot of like fluffy romance, because I need that like contrast within a book. I love that so much. But yeah, there is 2 of this series already out, so there's Straight to Me and Come Back to Me, and then there's also Tied to You, which is the last one that's coming out in August. I am so excited. I love this story so much and I'm so invested in the characters. Straight to Me again was another 5-star read. Like I was seated for this book. I devoured it so quickly. I honestly loved every second of it. Like I literally have nothing bad to say. I enjoyed that book so much. This month has pretty much been the perfect reading month. Like all 4 books have literally been like above 4 stars, which is just unheard of for me. Like I don't rate 5-star very often, but like this month I've had 3 5-stars. Like I'm usually really strict with my ratings, but these books have just actually been so good. I want some recommendations for cartel romances. I want some for like MC romances. I need your recommendations. Give me more. I need more. They're the books that I've read in May. It's been such a good reading month, and I'm really hoping that the books I get into for June will be just as good, and I'm hoping to be able to read more next month, just because 4 just isn't hitting it for me. I need to be reading more than that. I have a never-ending physical TBR. I've got like over 250 books at this point, and I've probably read about 50 of them. So I need to get into that physical TBR, and I need to also just stop buying books. But we all know that's not going to happen, so I just need to start reading quicker, basically. So that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social medias and Amazon will be in the description box below. I hope to see you next time for my June TBR, and I hope you're well. I'll see you soon.